Hi, welcome to this episode number 12 of our GrowthArtic podcast and YouTube channel. And yeah, we have a brand new topic for sure.
The GrowthArtic topic.
GrowthArtic is topic today, and that is mental health for entrepreneurs. So Ben, why did we choose this topic?
So I think what keeps people back is very often challenges with their own mind. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all keep each other like small in a way. If you look back 2 years ago, you wonder like, why was I such a small worm 2 years ago? And that happens every 2 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's only in your mind that you're held back. But the main focus today is mental health. What keeps you fit in your mind and able to act as an entrepreneur? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why we talk about that today.
So for me, mental health, there are two words, and for me there are two mindsets. Yeah. So for me personally, it's really important to start just with health, because I'm turning 38 this year.
I'm 36, by the way.
And lucky you. And so I'm doing sports all my life. Yeah. So all my life I'm doing sports. So I've grown up with doing sports and to move, to bicycle, to run, to play football, to swim, and to everything. And so that is for me. So for me, it's really important to have this physical fitness, so not be a bodybuilder or something, but my body has to feel healthy for me. That's really important. And it can be some back pain in the morning, then I have to do some exercises and it's gone. So I think
you feel like shit if you're not up there.
Yeah, that's it. So personally, for me it's really important to have a physical health. Whatever it means, but it means like doing sports maybe 3 or 4 times a week, whatever it is, and
So we'll definitely talk about that part, but there's another word in there, mental. Since I spent 5 years in university studying psychology, maybe that's a pointer that I'm more focused on the mental side. Physical is important to me as well, but I probably believe that 80% is happening in your mind.
Yeah, but for me it's important because physical health has a big impact on my mental health. For me personally. So yesterday I had a business trip to Munich, so I'm sleeping in a hotel. So that means your kind of morning habit or something, just doing some small exercises to get the body.
Do you do it while you travel?
So it's hard because in the hotel, there's a carpet, and I have no idea if you feel the same, but don't touch the carpet with your fingers. So you're not able to do some push-ups or to
I always put
a
towel down, but
so I don't do this. And in the end, that makes me on business traveling. That makes me a little bit more not like that mental strength, like a normal way. So that's something what.
So what happens? What do you struggle with when you don't do sports? What happens to you?
So there are days where thinking the whole day why I didn't make it in the morning to do my small exercises. So it's just like, what happened? So I have to do it. Maybe I can do it in the lunch break, or I can do it after the phone call, or I can. But honestly, it will never happen. If I don't do it in the morning, there is no space.
Then do you feel restless, more stressed, or what is it? What happens to you if you don't work out in the morning?
It's just like, it doesn't feel like, maybe it's something about the time, just to take this 7 minutes or what it is, just the 7 minutes for yourself in the morning to invest in yourself a little bit.
And you wonder why you don't do that. I heard a good speech from an admiral who said one of the habits he took away from his time at the military was doing his bed perfectly in the morning. And of course later exercise, but having this small amount of control over your environment always is so good. And just doing a few exercises, there is so little control, but you feel better the whole day.
It is like this. So it's not for me, it's not less just bodybuilding. I do some, and it's not real yoga or something. So it's always a mixture. So I started this 25 years ago or 30 years ago maybe, before the yoga hype came up. So it's just doing some special exercises. For me, it's a mixture between stretching and workout a little bit, but it's just, I'm doing always the same, but I need it. Maybe I need it mentally more than my body, but the combination is so important for me.
I don't know yet what for me is cause and effect, whether or not when I do physical fitness, I feel better, or when I feel better, I do more physical fitness. I don't know that yet, but I can see in my calendar, and I do lots of journaling, that in the month or weeks I feel good. I'm a person that has like up and down cycles over a year. I would say I have at least 2 down cycles per year. Yeah.
Per year, okay.
Per year.
How long does it take?
4 weeks.
Wow.
4 weeks down cycles.
That's long.
Pretty much. Sometimes longer if I don't get out of the rut.
Yeah.
Yeah, but starting, forcing myself to start a physical exercise routine definitely helps. Starting the journaling process really helps. But I always, like if I can share like a personal story, I can feel myself slipping from my high peak performance state, which is 80% of the time. I can watch myself. I think I'm very self-conscious, and I can't. It feels like I can't do anything about it. There are like some symptoms that I recognize. I lose exercise. I journal less, and I start consuming more and more media. I'm a book nerd, especially audio. Yeah, and my average hours per month are like between 30 and 40 hours on Audible. I would say it's the same on podcasts and YouTube again. So I noticed that this level rises very much in the times when my performance goes down. So it's not like I'm learning more and more and of course I'm becoming better and better. No. It's for me, it's an avoidance mechanism, because my brain, when I get in a high stress level, like when I have this drip, my brain starts to race and to struggle. It's like I cannot turn it off. Do you know that? Yeah,
Exactly.
When you have to keep on thinking. And what I do then, I turn on an audiobook and I turn it really loud, and I don't want to be confronted, and so I struggle more and more and more.
So, really interesting. So if I feel, so I've not 2 times a year with 4 weeks. For me, it's even more, maybe once a month.
Yeah.
But maybe I would say just 1 day or 2 days.
Yeah.
And if I see it coming, then there's for me the point to do a really good sports exercise, to take my racing bike and to make 80 kilometers, 90 kilometers, something where I never take the time for, but to do 4 hours bike ride, just to get everything off, because for me, cycling with my racing bike is just like, you see so many places, you're all alone, there's no chance for anybody to talk to you, just without any earpods or something, just cycling. And for me, cycling is something I get really out of everything. So after 40 kilometers, I have to eat something. So the body is just
done.
It's done, and then I have to eat and
then you drive back.
In a gas station, I have to drink a Coke and to eat a chocolate or something, and then make the rest, and then I come home after 4 hours, and then it's gone.
Cool.
But if I don't have the time for this, then it's a problem. It's a real problem, because then I come in a bad mood. So what everybody can feel
in your business? What suffers first? Like, for me, it's admin. I avoid writing invoices. I avoid checking my financial balances. In the downtimes. I've just even a couple of weeks ago noticed that I haven't written an invoice for 2 months, and then I send out invoices.
That would never happen to me.
And I checked it, and it was like 40K open an invoice, and I was like, dude, Ben, why are you such a moron? Yeah. but I could see myself slipping, and then I really have to make something
Yeah.
very, very extreme to get
Back,
myself out of it. I like that idea of spending a day there. What I like to do is going to a place like a big bath with sauna,
Alone?
and journal all day.
Alone.
Alone usually. Yeah. Sometimes I take my best friends, but we don't talk then. Yeah, and sometimes we talk. Yeah.
I take my best friends, but we don't talk. Okay, cool.
Yeah, he knows then that I need to focus. There's the same friend who was with me on the way of St. James, Jakobsweg. Yeah, so we know we can struggle and shut up and let each other work.
That's cool.
And that's what I usually do. Journal a complete day, but in an environment that is out of my normal environment. Yeah, so I don't stay in this mindfuck mode, and I try to stay very solution oriented during this journaling process, so I don't ruminate around my negative thoughts, right? And going back into a physical exercise routine is really important to me. Yeah. So let's say we want to avoid this. We want to prevent getting into that level. Do you think that the topic of motivation, which we have up here, is important there?
So I would say, so for all entrepreneurs, it's always the same. It's not always like this, right? It's like this, and
hopefully it goes up over time. Yeah.
And I think that is the point what motivates me. Exactly this. So to be
the struggle.
But to be confident, maybe experienced enough with 38, to know, okay, maybe there's a little bit a bad time now, but maybe it's just a week or 2 weeks. And honestly, it is not a bad time. It just feels like a bad time or something, because there was not 4 contracts coming in a week. Maybe
only
it's
2.
Maybe it's just 2. So it's just something. But it feels like, and you can't do anything against it. So, and then comes for me always the point of motivation to sit down, to think, okay, is it a real problem? Maybe to write. For me, it's to write some invoices. Yeah. To write some invoices, because invoices means you're booked. You delivered the product, everybody was happy, and now give me my money. Yeah. So that's something, maybe the reward in the end or something like this, to help being motivated. So
but what motivates you? What keeps you out of the struggle?
Happy customers.
Happy customers.
Yeah, really. So always, that was in my former job as well, to have a group. So if you do workshop or a coaching or whatever, to see that the people are in the end really satisfied, to give you good feedback, to say, okay, that really helps me out. And then after 3 or 4 days, we have a follow-up and they say, yeah, I started executing. So that's my story. And that's something where I say, wow, that's the total motivation for me.
Do you have a mental model of how you see yourself for those people? Like, are you the accelerator? I don't want to drop too many words in your brain. Like, do you have a mental model? What do you call yourself? What you are for those people?
Boy, that's a good question.
I saw in your positioning statement that you growth by implementing growth hacking. What's your function within that? Are you the coach? Are you the...
So in the end, what it is, is they get an impulse. Yeah. And this impulse is a kind of momentum. So we create a momentum of what I say growth hacking spirit in the people's mind. And what is really important then to keep them going. Yeah. So not to go to the gym once. Yeah. So to have a retention, it's like in our R matrix funnel, to not just do the acquisition part, just to have them coming back to your process, to keep on executing. And that's something with motivation. So I think I do a lot of motivation for my customers, and that's something what I think that's the most valuable point of this kind of product I deliver there. Yeah. So being a motivator to keep on executing, depending on which idea ever. just keep on.
I think that's really valuable with you. It's not just the hard skills, it's the getting the team in the positive mood and to get them going for a long time. Yeah.
And if you fail, nobody cares. We just optimize and keep going. That's something where I'm really passionate about.
I always try to be careful with motivation, because there are like so many different times. There are this Gary Vaynerchuk hustle type of motivations, and I have a struggle there, like only like work until you drop dead, and there is never too much work. And I'm very careful with that. I used to think of myself as a catalyst, that after a while became, I still like the model, like me being a catalyst, drop into the chemical solution that is a given product or team, and I lower the requirement for them for a big transformation to happen, that after I still like this, but when I found another way to formulate this changed my whole motivation. I now consider myself much more a gardener of growth. This is also my core motivational statement. Like, I want to be a free gardener of growth.
But a gardener is using chainsaws as well, right?
Exactly. Like a gardener can be chemical, but usually it's very organic, is patient, keeps at it, things in seasons.
Right.
Spreads seeds before he reaps the rewards. All those, it's more a matter of your attitude. If you think as yourself as a gardener, than a chemical that you drop in somewhere. And that improved my motivation and my patience very much, because I always visualized my grandfather as this gardener. I always used to hang out with him in the garden and seeing him over years planting a garden and building and growing his own crops. And
same for my grandpa.
And that really like not only focusing on motivation, but making sure it's in the right attitude. Having the right philosophy behind your motivation really helps me when I struggle to go back. And I established this gardener of growth thing last year for the first time, like in January, like probably December, 1.5 years ago, not like last year, but 1.5 years ago, with a friend of mine who was a coach, is a coach still. And she's still working with Sandro at the Klarheit project, but she has her own coaching practice. And that was so helpful, like to develop this image of yourself. And now I can always work with this image when I get into a rut and say, like, what would a gardener do? A gardener of growth do, right? Like, be patient, do the basics first, get the weeds out of the earth,
be endurant.
Exactly.
That's really important.
And getting this type of support really helped me at that point.
I would just add one point. For mental health and struggles is something what fits to my persona as well. Is there are so many people working in companies, and they have this kind of struggles in their heads. So they get new ideas, they get motivation for executing this idea. So I had a workshop yesterday in a big corporate in Munich. And in the end, they were sitting there with just 3 focused ideas, and the team decides, okay, these are these 3 top hacks we want to execute tomorrow. And the stakeholders were sitting there and said, yes, you can do this tomorrow. So there were no barriers anymore. But the team by itself was sitting there and said, but we are not allowed to do this because this, and this. And the stakeholder said, you are allowed. So we want to start with growth hacking. So you are allowed. So they did the leaders did a really good job to seed the field. But the employees, the team was sitting there, they have the struggles in their mind. And that's something where I say mental health, to say, okay, so maybe it's a German problem, or maybe German character, to always see, okay, I could go, but maybe I find something not to go. And there's my point where I say, okay, there's no reason not to go. We go tomorrow.
Okay.
So I had to leave yesterday there because my plane was, but I would love to be there today because it's Friday to help them just starting the execution challenge. So I sold them the wrong package in the end.
Yeah, but you can follow up.
Yeah, I will do for sure. I will do, but I think that's so important to. That's the same like a gardener or a motivator or something who seed the field.
Yeah.
To say, okay, I help you seeding the field, and harvesting the crops is something you should do by yourself. But I think that's the fun part, right?
Harvesting the crops, like getting there, is the hard part, and realizing not every one of your plants is going to grow 100%.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, some will grow 20, some will grow 60, some will grow 100, and it's just the way it is. There are going to be birds picking your seeds out of the earth. The question is, do you want to go after the birds, the people who want to distract you, or do you want to just stay on your field and do your fucking work?
I would say my mother is a gardener as well.
Yeah.
And she hates snails. You can't believe. So my daughter is 4. There are weekends she's just hanging around with my mother at my home place, and my daughter comes back on Sunday evening, and the first thing she tells us is, okay, grandma murdered 80 snails yesterday. We say, what? Why? And so because she hates snails because they are eating her salad and everything she's planting there, the strawberries and everything. It's so funny. We say it comes the pigs and the snails. Yeah.
To me, the snails in my life are the people that are trying to slow me down. That's why I get really picky and
have you seen a snail here in Cologne in the last 2 years?
Why? Are they so fast?
Not because they are so fast, but where are these snails?
I don't know.
Everything is full of concrete here.
So tell me, what helps you beside doing the physical exercise? How do you get support, or do you not get support at all? Be honest.
Yeah, we had this in the pre-briefing already.
Yeah.
I would say I'm really, really, really bad in asking for support, for advice. We
got this therapy session going here.
Yeah. But I know. So I do a lot of reflection by myself.
Yeah. How? Explain.
I think it was the beginning of the episode today. So I need some time for myself, just doing sports or riding bike or something where I get to know, where I need some time to think about things. So I think I'm really good in decision making. Yeah. But for really important decisions, I would say it lasts a long time for me.
Do you think on paper or do you think in your mind?
Yeah, I think I start thinking in my mind a long time. Yeah. And then comes the time or the point in the airplane or in the ECE or something where it's okay, I have to scribble down a little bit. It looks like this one. So just one example. So maybe some of you know my growth hacking process version 2.0. Yeah. And I'm thinking of a version 3.0 for, I would say, 8 months now, and have it in my mind. Mm-hmm. And 2 weeks ago, there comes a point where I said, okay, it's time for version 3.0. Yeah. And then I started this in the ECE back from Nuremberg. And
very cool.
Now it's already in the design agency.
Yeah,
and it's in the making. So in the
can't read it anyway. It looks
you
like
don't have to. I can show you the original one.
So you like to think on paper,
but in the end phase, in the last 20%, before I have everything in my mind.
Do you have a person to talk to? For example, I cannot talk to my wife about this kind of stuff. It's a different world. Yeah. She has more stress than I after I talk to her about that.
I would agree.
And do you have a friend or somebody to talk?
I have, and different for different topics. Yeah. But I would say I'm not I'm not really good in this. I'm a positive guy, and if you ask me, it's true. So it's not a lie. Everything is good. Everything is fine. I'm really satisfied with everything, and all my small strugglings and problems or challenges I do with myself. Yeah. And I know that's not the right solution. in the end, maybe it cost me in the end, hopefully only 10 years or something,
Yeah.
and not more.
Yeah.
But I know that it's important, and so I think I told in a former episode as well, for my leadership career in my former job, I had some leadership coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was not my decision to go there, yeah, because they made me to go there. But in the end, I was really happy to have this, to have really good leadership coaches, to take the time to reflect your leadership things you do all the day, to get the time from a good coach. That was a really good experience for me, and yeah.
I also always try to. Lots of people come to me to talk about their struggles. Like, this office feels a bit like a therapy room sometimes, because it's very chill. Yeah. We got the chair over there, and people come over. But
you need a bench or a couch.
I think this is already quite a therapy chair over there. We have to show it at some point. But having a good mixture in your environment, like people that you are there for, if they have struggled, people who are peers, like the two of us, and people who are beyond what you have done, who you can ask for advice. And I gotta be honest, I'm struggling a little bit finding those people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not that they are not available or anything, but I'm looking for those kinds of people who are like 5 steps ahead of me, but willing to listen to my struggles, and that I can support in my ways. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I would agree, but I think the point you're telling is now is again this business part. I would say we both. We are challenging each other. There are some
level.
There are some ideas. I give you an idea. I have to, and I get feedback. Yeah. And that's for me really valuable. And I think it's
the other way around.
Other way around. So, and maybe there are 2 or 3 more we have around us for different topics to get. But I would say, if we talk about mental health, so it's not the business topic, right? Yeah. I would say for my private struggles, that's the part where I'm really bad in. To talk about my business struggles or business questions, that's for me not a problem. Okay. To get feedback in, or to just make a landing page and get 100 visitors to get some feedback or whatever it is. But I would say there's a difference from my point of view between business and private. For my private stuff, and it's not because I'm too shy to talk about private stuff. I tell everything, I don't care. But not about my problems.
I only share once I'm already pretty far along the solution, and I just want to figure out, okay, you know me really well. Does this solution fit my problem? What do you think? Can you maybe grab into my bag and pick out my journal?
Whoa.
Because journaling is to me the by far most important technique to support myself. Yeah, and I even keep on extending that practice. I always usually start the journal with reiterating my yearly goals. And here you can see the be a free gardener of growth. And it's divided by the private and the business stuff.
It starts in April here.
Yeah, but so I usually start this like in December, and then I'm through a whole book. Yeah, the blue one that's over there. Okay. And then I write it back down. I sign it even, and then regularly I reflect if I'm heading this way, if I'm going there, and I'm working through mental models, and
you do it each day?
Not every day, but like in the evening before I go to sleep, or when I have free time here, working here. This is my personal therapy session, When I'm thinking about how to build a team, I start to flex it around, and then I write it down a bit more concrete. I need to think on paper, and I want to do this much more. Like I have this project in my mind. I call it the master plan. There are like 2 or 3 really cool articles from Elon Musk about the Tesla master, or like the whole Elon Musk master plan. And why the hell don't we all have a written plan on where we want to go. Yeah. Do you have one?
I just want to. So you have your notebook, and I have more this one.
Yes, perfect.
I think it's a comparison. So it's we talked about branding for startups, and that's. I told you that I have a problem there, or I think I have a problem there. I want to have a really good brand now after 1.5 years, and so we are a few weeks later now. And that's my solution. Yeah. So then my brand architecture, and then for sure I start scribbling on paper, and then in the end I have one just PowerPoint slide because it's easy, and I can send it to people now. Yeah. Because you said it's not readable, the first version, to have it like this. And so for me it's the same. I have to write ideas down
and visualize it.
Yeah, and visualize it, because while scribbling or while painting or whatever, you learn.
You solve problems. You just solve the problem. And I think what causes mental health issues is uncertainty. Yeah. Like being fuzzy in your mind about what you want and going 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and that is so frustrating. Yeah. And then if you have a clear vision, it's so much easier to go with your full might into one direction. And I think that's what keeps most people from having mental health issues. Yeah, if you see progress for your customers, for yourself, for your team, and then you feel happy. If you support that with a good physical regime, good food, good sleep, good exercise, a clear motivation, and a plan, and people who can support you, you're well set for mental health as an entrepreneur. And for us entrepreneurs, I think it's much more important than for most other people, because we have to everything relies on our mental health, and we keep our shit together. Yeah. And I
would say just I try to tell everybody, and my wife and my friends always, don't think about the others. Don't care about what others are thinking about, whatever. So I don't care about others. So, and I always say, but if I have a problem, if I have a challenge with my body or with my business or whatever it is, then I take it around and say, okay, then I make a comparison to all others, and then I always say, okay, I would say it's not a real problem.
Yeah, so
do you know what I mean? It's not a real problem.
Very simple psychological fix. If you do any kind of downward comparison, you feel better afterwards. Yeah, but
that's it.
It's a question if you want to do that, or if you want to keep yourself struggling by doing the upwards comparison and saying like, I'm such a worm, I want to be a butterfly. I need to keep on struggling, and that's good that I'm struggling. Yeah.
For me, it's always like, so for sure I have my yearly revenue goals. Yeah. And I'm in the 2nd year now, so that means they are not just getting the 100% to pay my bills. So I want to grow, and so if I have a look at my July, August months now, and they are not on target, maybe because it's summer or whatever it is, but they are even more 45% better than last year.
It's cool.
That's something where I say that's so stupid to be disappointed with this, because it's pretty cool. That's what I mean. So it's pretty cool. So I should be satisfied, but I'm not reaching my goals this summer now. That's something I don't like. But honestly, is it a real problem?
No, probably not.
Not. Yeah. So it's a self-made problem, right? Yeah. I would say most of the problems are self-made. So if we talk about not body problems or sickness or whatever. Yeah.
Cool. So if you're a book kind of guy...
Hard episode, I think.
I have one recommendation if you're a book type of guy. Check out this book from... let's see if it gets focused at some point. Let me just read it. It's called Keep Your Shit Together from Cheryl Walling and Rob Walling. He's a really cool entrepreneur that I followed for a long time. He does the MicroConf conference, and she is his wife and a psychologist, therapist. And they talk really openly about their own struggles, and I think she has a very professional view on that. So if you're curious about that, check this one out. So do you want to wrap up?
Yeah, for a hard topic, I would say. So really personal as well. And the combination between mental and health, I think it's for sure for everybody, but maybe for one person it's more and for the other person not. And I would say keeping your shit together was the title, right?
Yeah.
That's it in the end. Maybe that's a good summary.
Yeah.
And keeping your shit together, it's really important to be on track with your mental fitness. And if you
have any struggles, please let us know.
Yeah. If you need help, be a little bit better than we are, and just ask the people around you.
Yeah.
Maybe they have some advice for you. And
get in touch with us here at GrowthArtic.com. Yeah. And there you can find and subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Spotify, the SoundClouds, wherever you love to hear. We would love to hear more reviews from you guys and get feedback on the episode. So just let us know, and see you at number 13.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.